Hey everybody, today we're working on 6.6 day 2. It's solving with logs. Your essential question says, how can you solve exponential equations using logarithms? Today we have two steps. The first one is take the log of both sides of your equation. And the second one is get x by itself using properties of logs. Here are your properties of logs that we learned about in 6.5. So I would go ahead and write this down or take a picture of this whole slide. This is what you'll end up using to solve all of your problems today. You won't always use the last box, but sometimes you do need it. All right, without further ado, let's do problems. The first one says we have 17 equals 4 to the power of x. So our first thing we're going to do is take the log of both sides. Now we want to cancel out the 4. So remember, if I do log base 4 of 4x, the log base 4 cancels out with the big 4. So what I'm really going to do is I'm going to take log base 4 of both sides. Now that little number next to your log changes depending on what the base of your equation is. But essentially you want to take log base whatever your number is that's being raised to an exponent. When I do this, like I said, my logs cancel with my 4, and I really just have x equals log base 4 of 17. At this point, we want to get our final answer. You're going to have to use your change of base formula. Remember, the change of base formula says if you have log base b of a, that's the same as log of a divided by log of b. So we're going to do log of the big number, 17, divided by the log of 4. When you type this in your calculator, please make sure that it has a parenthesis here. You do have to close that. Sorry, my phone is clearly not on silent. Or what I like to do is I do log of 17. Let's see, log of 17. I hit enter in my calculator, and I do divided by log of 4, and I hit enter. When you do that, you get 2.04. We're going to round to 1 decimal, so this is going to be 2.0 as our final answer, or you could just type in 2. Either one would work. But that is how you solve your first problems. If you're like, yo, Miss Sylvester, I don't have a calculator, I believe your phone probably has logs if you turn it sideways, so it's horizontal the long ways. Otherwise, there's a PDF on your Schoology page. It says calculator access. It'll explain how to get a TI-84, a fancy graphing calculator on your phone, or you can always use Desmos to type it in. All right, for your second problem, you have 5 to the power of 2x minus 3 equals 12. Notice for this one, we can't write 12 in terms of 5. 5 to the power of 2 gives me 25. I can't write 5 to the power of anything and get 12. So what we're going to do for problems where we have different bases is we're just going to take the log base 10 of both sides. Remember, log base 10 is just the same as log. So I'm going to do log of 5 to the power of 2x minus 3 equals the log of 12. Now when I do this, I'm going to use these rules over here. Mostly we're going to end up using this last one where you have m to the power of n. Remember, your n can come out front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2x minus 3 and we're going to bring it out front. Ooh, I don't know how I did that. When I do that, we're going to have 2x minus 3 times the log of 5 equals the log of 12. Now notice my log of 5 is in parentheses, and really this part is parentheses too. So I need to go ahead and take my log of 5 and distribute it to the negative 3 and distribute it to the 2x. So I would have 2x times the log of 5 minus 3 times the log of 5 equals the log of 12. At this point, we want to move everything that has x's to one side, so I really want to keep this over here because I don't have any x's on the right side of my equation. So we're kind of just trying to get x by itself. I'm going to go ahead and start by adding 3 log of 5 to both sides. You can put your log of 5 in parentheses. You don't really have to. It doesn't honestly really matter. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. From there, we have 2x times the log of 5 And that is going to equal the log of 12 plus 3 log of 5. Two x times the log of 5. Now right now I want to get rid of my log of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and notice that this is 2 times x times the log of 5. You could write this as x times 2 log of 5 equals log of 12 plus 3 log of 5. Sorry, my things didn't like connect all the way for everything. So essentially you're doing x times 2 log of 5. So to move that, I'm going to divide both sides by 2 log of 5. Again, I'm going to shrink it and move it up. So divide this whole thing by 2 log of 5. Now at this point we can put it into our calculator, and our final answer is going to be x equals log of 12 plus 3 log of 5, all divided by 2 log of 5. Now one thing I want to talk about before we go too far is putting things in your calculator. You are going to have a lot actually of parentheses involved. The first one is anytime you hit log, it starts a parentheses. So right after you type your number in, you need to close it. So I would do log 12, close my parentheses, plus 3 log of 5, close my parentheses. The entire base, the entire denominator of your thing needs to be in parentheses and that 5 inside. So you can go ahead and type that all into a calculator and get your final answer. I'm going to do that quick. So we have log of 12, close my parentheses, plus 3 log of 5, close my parentheses. I like to hit enter on the top and then do the denominator, divided by, and then we start with the parentheses, 2 log of 5. Again, close it and close the denominator, and I get 2.27, which would round to 2.3 as our final answer. On your homework, you have a section that's talking about just how to put it into your calculator. If you do not know how to access a calculator online because you don't have your own, please check out our calculator access thing. It's posted in your Schoology page outside of the folder for this chapter, at least for my class. I don't really know about Ms. Schwanz's, but I'm sure it's on your Schoology page somewhere. All right, for this problem, this one's different than anything we've done before. Notice we have two different bases here. So instead of taking log base 3 or log base 5, I'm just going to take the log. I'm going to do the log of 3 to the power of x plus 1 equals the log of 5 to the power of x. When I do this, then I can use all of these rules over here. Now the one that I like the best is this one, where you have m to the power of n. Notice how your n can come out front. We're actually going to use that, and we're going to put x plus 1 out front, and we're going to put x out front. So we have x plus 1 times the log of 3 equals x times the log of 5. Now at this point I have x plus 1 being multiplied by the log of 3, so I actually need to take that log of 3 and we're going to distribute it to the 1 and we're going to distribute it to the x. So I'm going to have x log of 3 plus 1 log of 3, there's like a sneaky little one there, equals x times the log of 5. I'm really bad at my parentheses, so I'm going to add them in, but I'm going to add them in green so you can see them. We have some parentheses here, we have some parentheses here. It doesn't really matter if you write them or not. It is a little easier to see what's going on if you do. I want to move all of my x's to one side, so I'm going to subtract x log of 3 to both sides because there's already an x on the other side. This would mean that my log of 3 is all by itself now. Now, there was a 1 out front. You can write the 1. You don't have to. It's still there even if you don't write it. If it was any number besides 1, you would have to write it. So that equals x times log of 5 minus x times the log of 3. I'm going to shrink my screen a little bit. Notice that on the right side, we have two x's, one in front of the other. We can go ahead and factor those out. So remember if you had like 6x minus 3. You could say that's the same as 3 times 2x minus 1. And it's like you divided both sides by 3. We can divide both of these things by x. We would have log of 3 equals, our x would go up front. These guys cancel, so log of 5. And then these ones would cancel again, minus the log of 3. So again, you just factored your x out. You kind of undistributed the x. At this point, we have x by itself out front, but it's being multiplied by that second half. So we are going to go ahead and divide both of our sides by the second half. So we're going to do divided by log 5 minus log of 3, divided by log 5 minus log of 3. And that's going to tell me that x equals log of 3 divided by log of 5 minus the log of 3. Now, when you're typing this into a calculator, I would do it in 2 steps. I would enter the top and then enter the bottom. But if you want to try to do it all in one, make sure that's in parentheses. On the bottom, this part needs to be in parentheses. Close the parentheses around your 5, close the parentheses around your 3, and then add an extra one on the end for the whole denominator. When you type that into your calculator, you will get x equals 2.15, which is the same as 2.2 as your final answer. If you need a graphing calculator, check out the Schoology page. There should be a calculator access document in there to help you out. Alrighty, well, let's move on to our next one. All right, my last one is we have 2 to the power of 3x equals 7 to the power of x plus 1. Again, we're going to take the log of both sides. So we have a log of 2 to the power of 3x equals the log of 7 to the power of x plus 1. When we do this, notice we have our exponents on top, so we're going to move them out front. We have 3x log of 2 equals x plus 1 log of 7. And again, this is in parentheses. Again, we're going to distribute our log of 7 to both things. We still have 3x times the log of 2 equals x times the log of 7 plus 1 log of 7. Again, we want to get that thing with the x's all on the same side. So I'm going to do minus x log of 7 minus x log of 7. When we do that, let me just shrink my screen down. I want everything. Select all shrink. I don't know what's happening with my thing. Sorry, I'm struggling. Undo. Maybe I'll still use the pen. Ooh, there we go. All right, so I have 3x times the log of 2 minus x log of 7 equals log of 7. Again, I dropped the 1 because it's the same thing. Now I notice they both have x's out front, x. So again, I'm going to factor out an x. When I do that, I have 3 log of 2 minus log of 7 equals log of 7. Again, at this point, I want to divide everything because I want that x all by itself. Let's shrink again. So we'll divide both sides by 3 log of 2 minus the log of 7. And for our final answer, we'll get equals. Again, I'm going to shrink. X equals, again, these guys canceled, log of 7 divided by 3 log of 2 minus the log of 7. Again, if I put that into my calculator, I would enter the top on its own, log of 7 equals, and then I divide it by, in parentheses, 3 log of 2 minus log of 7. And this whole thing would be 14.57, which is 14.6 as your final answer. Mostly when I'm doing this, please make sure this is closed. Do an extra parentheses here, close these ones, and then do a double on the end, and you'll be good to go. All right, thank you for watching. Those last 2 problems are complicated. If you get stuck, when you get stuck, please let us know so we can help you.